A very good morning. So, students, in last class, we were discussing the chapter electromagnetic waves, and we are revising in very detail. Actually, this time already we have studied in classes, but as up to now you have discussed Maxwell equations, displacement current, as well as the Maxwell equations in different media. How can we prove the electromagnetic wave at the same speed of light? This is all we have discussed. Now let's see the important characteristics of electromagnetic wave first. After that, we will start to discuss the electromagnetic spectrum as you can see on the screen now. So first, in the important characteristics of the electromagnetic waves, the first point you can see, that is, the electromagnetic waves are produced by accelerated charges. So just now, as in starting also I have told you, accelerating magnetic field, that is producing electric field, and accelerating electric field is producing magnetic field, like by Faraday law and modified Ampere's law. This is predicted by. Now obviously, whenever the electric field will oscillate, that will produce magnetic field, and obviously magnetic field that is changing, then continuously it is producing electric field. So electromagnetic wave that is generated due to the continuous production of electricity and magnetism. So due to accelerated charge, that means the values of the fields by the charges, that is changing continuously here. The second property, that is, these waves do not require any medium for propagation, means they are moving without any medium. Like you can see electromagnetic wave like visible light that is coming from vacuum also, where no space, no media is present. Here obviously it means for electromagnetic wave we need no kind of media, they can travel through all kind of the medium easily. Third one, these waves travel in free space with the speed of light, and that is given by the relation c is equal to 1 upon root mu 0 epsilon 0. This we have discussed already in class. In just yesterday class we have discussed these properties. Like in free space we have seen the speed of light that was equal to 3 to 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And it means also it is showing that the one very important prediction from there, because Maxwell has just given these all laws for some electromagnetic wave where electricity magnetism both will be present for due to the accelerated charges. So we start to calculate in very general manner, and we have seen the electromagnetic waves, they their speed is equal to speed of light, because about this the light already we have known a lot. So we have seen light is also electromagnetic wave. So this was the prediction or conclusion of this discovery, that was light waves are electromagnetic in nature. The fourth property, the direction of vibration of electric and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other, and also perpendicular to the direction of wave. So it means the electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. So transverse wave motion, as we have discussed in class 11, that when the particles are oscillating perpendicular to the direction of motion, then that kind of motion is known as transverse wave motion. So we can see obviously the magnetic and electric field that are just oscillating perpendicular to each other, as well as they are perpendicular to the direction of propagation. So it means they have transverse wave nature. Next one, fifth point, in free space, the magnitude of electric and magnetic fields in electromagnetic waves are related by E by B is equal to C here. So it means now, if you will just see the magnitude of electric field and magnitude of magnetic field in free space in electromagnetic wave, then that is given by obviously E by B is equal to C. So what is a very important conclusion from here? This you will calculate, that is C into B obviously from here. So we can see the amplitude of electric field or magnitude of electric field is c times greater than the magnetic field. So you can assume, as c is a very large quantity, 3 lakh already, so it is greater than c times the magnetic field obviously. uh, that's why a very important things we are using in electromagnetic waves. If we have to represent the light or any wave, then we are just writing that in the form of electric field only, because any one field if you will choose, that will represent the properties of electromagnetic wave, because one field is producing another field, so one field is sufficient there. So in case of polarization, the property where light becomes unidirectional, in that case we take the concept of only electric field for the description, for the explanation, for understanding purpose of the light there. A reason is that why only electric field we are taking, because that's magnitude or amplitude is much greater than that of the magnetic field. Next one here, the sixth point, the energy in electromagnetic wave that is divided on average equally between electric field and magnetic field. So if you can see this is ue is the energy in electric field, and um is energy in magnetic field, both are always equal. The seventh point is the energy density, that is energy per unit volume, in an electric field E in vacuum is half epsilon 0 E square, and in that magnetic field it is half uh, mu 0 h square, exactly we can also write it. So it means that in electric field the energy you will see that is half epsilon 0 now E square, and in magnetic field this is exactly half mu 0 h square. Now as you can also get this equation that is written here, as you know, b is equal to mu 0 h. So let's put the value of h from here. So h will have value b upon mu 0. So if you will put that b upon mu 0, let me again write it. So b upon mu 0, this you will put, then at we have h square into half into mu 0, and that was now um. So it means obviously we will get b square. Now 1 mu 0 will be cancelled out from this one, but 1 mu 0 will be remain. So mu 0 into 2. Now you can see this is b square plus b square upon 2 mu 0, that is written here. So this is now the energy stored in the magnetic field and energy stored in the electric field. So the total energy stored in electromagnetic wave, that is given by obviously energy stored in electric field plus energy stored in magnetic field, and that is given by this formula. Next property of electromagnetic wave is electromagnetic waves being uncharged and are not deflected by electric and magnetic field. Means the wave itself is uncharged, but it is just produced by charged particle, accelerating charged particle, but they are neutral. They are not deflected by any electric or magnetic field. Next one, the electromagnetic wave like other waves carries energy and momentum. Means whenever they are just uh, incident on any of the surface, then that time they are imparting some of the energy to that surface, as well as there is change in some momentum. Now also we can see if electromagnetic wave that incident on any surface, then they apply some pressure also. The pressure that is called radiation pressure, and we can see now the value of that radiation pressure is u by c. So light carries energies from the sun to earth, thus making life possible on the earth. Because if there will not be the propagation of or energy along with the wave, then that time obviously we cannot be here, as we are getting warmth and a lot of energies from the sun on our earth. So this is all what the just properties of electromagnetic wave. So student, I think this one is very clear to you. Now let's see the electromagnetic spectrum, this one. So first I will recommend you to see this figure and just make this figure somewhere, so that we can use later this one, because always we will need this figure. You can see now, first of all, in this figure, just let me. Now in this figure you can see here a frequency line is given, now wavelength line is given. So this is showing the frequency, this is showing wavelength line. Now number of electromagnetic waves you are seeing, like the gamma rays you are seeing. So gamma rays here, the range of the frequency is given to for that one, like from 10 to the power 19 to 10 to the power 23 hertz frequency the gamma rays are carrying. Most energetic waves they are. Now wavelength, if you will see, so wavelength is very small, 10 power minus 12 to 10 power minus 14 meter, that is very small. So they are smallest wavelength rays, but highest energetic rays. Now x-rays, you can see, for x-rays also the wavelength range and frequency range are given for ultraviolet, like visible, and for all types of here electromagnetic waves it is given. Now one thing you can see also, it has divided the radio waves, because the radio wave has very large wavelength, so it can be divided into three parts, that is uh, long radio waves, amplitude modulated radio waves, television and FM radio waves, short radio waves. So into four parts you can see these are divided because of their long wavelength. And as because of this reason radio waves are used, we are using a lot in the communication system. Again, as well as here in this figure, uh, for the visible light, this is the visible section we have. Visible light, its division into the seven colors, that is Vibgyo system, that is also given. And for every color, what is the wavelength that is given, like for violet color you can see it started from 400 nanometer, then blue color, for that one green, yellow, orange, red, and this is all is given here. So that is, I think, clear, and you can just keep this diagram with you for the better understanding in the case of electromagnetic. Now, after seeing this diagram, let's see electromagnetic spectrum here. So, as you can see, the electromagnetic spectrum, that's frequency range lies from 10 hertz to 10 to the power 23 hertz, and wavelength range that started from 10 to the power 7 hertz to 10 power minus 14, sorry, 10 power 7 meter to 10 power minus 14 meter. It is going there. Now, one by one, let's see the different types of electromagnetic waves. So as electromagnetic spectrum is what, the spectrum always contains number of frequencies or wavelength. If we will arrange them in a ascending order or descending order of frequency wavelength, then that is called spectrum. So electromagnetic waves are of seven types. First is, as you can see here list, that is the radio wave, microwave, infrared, light, visible light, that we are also calling ultraviolet rays, X rays, and gamma rays. So these are now seven electromagnetic waves here. The first one that we can see, that is the wavelength range for the radio wave. So here four columns are given for different types. First, types of the wave, second, wavelength range, third, production, and fourth, detection. So first here for the radio wave, if you will see the wavelength range, that is less than zero point 0.1 meter, or also you can see here the wavelength range for the radio waves, that is from 10 to the power 7 meter to 10 to the power near about minus 3 meter, that is also we are getting, but basically it is less than near about zero point 0.1 meter. Now production, you will see how the radio waves are produced. So they are produced by rapid acceleration and deacceleration of electrons in areas. So whenever the electrons are accelerating or deaccelerating, they are producing radio waves. Now detection, how can we see? So receivers areas, like as radio waves are communicating waves, then that can be just easily detected by receivers antennas. Now next one, the second type of electromagnetic wave, that is microwave, and that has wavelength range up to 1 mm from zero point 0.1 meter to. And now we are producing microwaves by magnetron valve or calestron valve. So these are two spatially, you can say, made up valves that are used to produce microwaves. Detect, how can we see it? That is point contact diodes. So pin diode that used to detect the microwaves. Now infrared waves, the third kind of electromagnetic wave, that has wavelength range 1 mm to 700 nanometer, and they are produced by vibration of atoms and molecules. Also hot bodies are the source of infrared waves, like our hot body, whenever it becomes cold by radiating, so the radiation produced by hot bodies, that is infrared waves. So that's why we are also calling infrared waves as thermal waves sometimes. Now detection, how can we detect it? By thermopiles, bolometer, infrared photographic films, these are all methods to detect the infrared waves. Now visible light, so visible light has wavelength range from 700 nanometer to 400 nanometer. And also, as you know, visible light can be easily produced by electrons in atoms, that is emitting light when they move from higher energy level to lower energy level. So whenever the electrons are getting excited, they are going to higher energy state, up energy state, and when after their state time like 10 power minus 8 second, or some of the state that are metastable state that has greater lifetime, but after spending that lifetime they are coming back to their original or normal configuration. Then that time excess of energy they are emitting, and that lies in the range of visible light. Now, if we will see how can we detect it, so number of methods to detect. The first the very you can say efficient thing is our eyes. So our eyes are very useful to detect visible light. Then photo cells also we can use that, photographic films you can use. Now, next one, after visible light, ultraviolet rays, the next type of electromagnetic wave that has wavelength range 400 nanometer to 1 nanometer, and we can produce the ultraviolet rays by inner cell electrons in atoms moving from higher energy level to lower energy level. Like in hydrogen spectrum, if you will see, the ultraviolet rays are produced in the case of Lyman series. So Lyman series we have got when electrons are uh, emit just making transition from n is equal to 2 level to n is equal to 1 level. So that are core atoms, core levels. So we can see now in lower energy level, whenever the or from higher to the most lowest level, if electron is making transition, then that time ultraviolet radiations are produced. So we can all detect it also by photocells or photographic films. Next type we have, that is X-rays. So X-rays that has wavelength of 1 nanometer to 10 power minus 3 nanometer, and they can produced by X-ray tubes or inner cell electrons. So like if any of the electron that knocked out from the inner cell, then that time higher level electrons they started to jump to the fill up that vacancy, and in that ways the energy level or energy difference that is emitted, then that is known as X-rays. Now we can use to detect photographic films, laser tubes, ionization chamber to produce X-rays. Next one, that is the last type of wave we have, gamma rays. So gamma rays that has wavelength less than 10 power minus 3 nanometer, and now they are produced by using radioactive decay of the nucleus. So they are also and they cannot detect it exactly, and we are seeing only in nucleus these types of rays. Now let's see one by one where we are using these waves. The first type of wave we have, that is again radio wave. So radio waves, again I'm saying as I have told you just now, they are produced due to oscillating charged particles, and the frequency that varies from here 500 kilohertz to 1000 megahertz. Now, next one, after this, if uses of radio waves, you will see. So they are used in amplitude modulation from 530 kilohertz to 1710 kilohertz. They are also used in ground wave propagation. So mostly radio waves, as number of times I have told you, they are used in communication because of their long range wavelength. They can be used easily in all types of modulation and communication purpose. Second one, you can see they they are used in TV waves ranging from 54 megahertz to 890 megahertz. So again, in the communication, TV communication system, it is used. Next one, in FM communication system it is used, because it is also used in frequency modulation ranging from 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. Now ultra high frequency waves that we are using in cellular phone, that is also the radio waves. So radio waves are basically their uses we are just doing in communication. What kind of communication? Like cellular phone communication, TV communication, FM communication, or amplitude modulated communication. In all that we are using this. Now the second type of wave we have, that is microwave. So let's see, as again microwave, you know, that is called short wavelength radio waves, because their wavelength range is lying near about to the radio waves also, and they are produced by vacuum tubes. The frequency range lies from the 1 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz. Now uses you will see. So uses of microwaves, that are the first use, uh, we are using microwaves for in radars. for aircraft navigation. So like aircrafts that are moving and we need to navigate that one. So in radar systems we are using these waves. From radar we are sending these waves continuously, and that reflect back from aircrafts, and we can easily proceed or navigate any of the aircraft. Second one, in obviously in our home we are using microwave oven for cooking purpose. You are familiar with this one already. Third one, these are used in the study of atomic and molecular structure. So atomic and molecular structure, for their study, their wavelength range, if that is lying in the range of microwave, then that microwaves are suitable for the study of that atoms or molecules. Fourth one, these are used to measure the speed of vehicle, speed of cricket ball, etc. Just like radar system, in radar system we are using microwave for the aircraft navigation. In the same manner we can use these waves, microwaves, for the measurement of speed of vehicles or speed of cricket ball. Like if we will just deliver the radio microwave, they will go and collide with the vehicle and again turn reflect back from there. So the time taken to reflect back we can see, and after using the time and the velocity through which the microwave has gone, we can calculate at which distance that is, or also we can measure the speed if we know the distance between the balls or the vehicle and the microwave source. Now, third type of electromagnetic wave, you can see that is infrared waves. So, infrared waves, these waves are discovered by Herschel. So, these waves are also called heat waves. We are also calling it thermal waves. I told you why we are calling it. So, these waves are produced from the heat radiating bodies or molecules. Any hot body is the source of infrared waves. Now next one, if you will see the properties of infrared wave, then they have very high penetration power, and the frequency range, you can see this is now the frequency range. Uses, let's see the first use of infrared, that is in physical therapy we are using where the heat is needed. One, these are used in the satellite for army purposes. In satellite communication these waves are very useful. Third one, in weather forecasting we are using it. Next one, we are using to produce dehydrated fruits in their infrared, because they can soak the hydrated things from the fruits there. Next one, these are used in solar water heater or solar cell and solar cookers because of their heating effect. Now next, the fourth type of wave, obviously that is visible light. So I think I need not to tell you the uses of the visible light, because the light, single electromagnetic wave that is visible to us, so obviously we know the uses of that. But still, as the part of a spectrum that is visible by the human eyes, that is known as visible light, and that's frequency range is this one. Uses, you can obviously see to see the things, to find the stuff, to other things like whatever we are seeing, that is visible light. Ultraviolet rays, let's see that. So this was discovered by Ritter in 1801. So UV rays are produced by special lamps and very hot bodies. Sun is also the source of UV rays, that you know that is coming, but fortunately they are absorbed by the ozone layer present in stratosphere. And now the frequency range of ultraviolet rays you can see from here. So and now let's see the uses of ultraviolet rays. First one, we are using ultraviolet rays in burglar alarms. So somewhere if they're like lockers we are using, that times if someone will touch, then that time alarms will be just to set up. And that also I will tell you when we will study the photo cell, the process of burglar alarm, that I will tell you. Next one, these are used to checking mineral samples. Also this one we will say in the case of photo cells also. Now next, these are used to study molecular structure. Again, for the molecular structure we need that light or that electromagnetic wave whose wavelength range will lie in the range of intermolecular separation. So if ultraviolet rays wavelength will lie in that range, so these were used to study the molecular structure. Now this is also used to kill germs in minerals, because they can they have energy to kill that germs. The fourth one and fifth one, to sterilize surgical instrument, to just after killing the germ, obviously surgical instruments can be used again. Next one, here After this, the x-rays you can see. So x-rays, you know, that is just discovered by the Röntgen, and he got Nobel Prize also. So its frequency range, that you can see from here. Now x-rays, see, the first use, you are very familiar with that one, used in the surgery to detect the fracture, diseased organs, or stones in the body. Or second one, these are used to in engineering to detect fault, cracks or breezes, testing of welds. Now these are used in metro station to detect metal or explosive metals. They're also used in scientific research. So these are very useful applications of the x-rays. Now the last one is gamma rays. So gamma rays that were discovered by Rutherford, and these are electromagnetic waves, obviously, that is traveled with speed of light, and also having, they are actually all are the electromagnetic wave. They are used traveling with velocity of light. But the gamma rays have a very high penetration power. They can penetrate easily from anything. Their frequency range also, you can see, they are most energetic wave. Now their uses, if you will see, they are used to produce nuclear reactions. So nuclear reaction, that is most energetic thing. In that one, gamma rays are used. Second one, they are used in radiotherapy for the treatment of tumors and cancers. We are also using in food industry to kill pathogenic microorganisms. Next one, are used to provide valuable information about the structure of atomic nucleus. So this is all the application of the electromagnetic spectrum. And also we have discussed how to produce, what is wavelength range, frequency range, at all. So a lot of information about electromagnetic waves you have now. With this one, let's end our chapter here. We have revised our chapter now. Next class we will see the conceptual problem on this chapter. Thank you students for today.